Welcome back to my channel. My name is Trinh, but everyone call me Mao. I'm currently a partnership development manager at a global leading marketing technology company. I'm working and living in Bangkok, Thailand. Besides my work, I also love learning languages. So that's why in this channel, we will explore strategy and tools to help us along progress in our language learning journey. Also, how to live our life healthier and happier and making time to do what we love. Well, learning a language can be a challenging but rewarding experience. Whether you are learning a language for personal or professional reason, it is essential to have effective strategy to achieve your language learning goals. It took me roughly 10 years before I'm confident in speaking in English, but only 1 year of learning Chinese to hold a proper conversation with a native speaker. For Thai, it even took me shorter time to use language in my daily conversation after 3 months of learning. In my experience as a language lover, I had discovered that some certain methods work more effectively than the other. That's why today I want to share with you 3 ways to learn a language faster, which have helped me to progress in my language learning, especially for Thai and Chinese. These tips are practical, easy to implement, and have been proven to be effective by other language learning all over the world. The very first thing is that give yourself a good reason to learn a language. We have many priorities in our life. If something isn't important, you will sooner or later abandon it. I can give you an example of myself learning Zumba. That was when I first moved to Bangkok. I want to discover something new. So I started with learning Zumba. It was fun. I like my teacher, my Zumba teacher. She's super energetic. And I like the class atmosphere. Everything is so insanely happy and fun. But things changed. After the lockdown ended, I traveled like crazy. People even thought that I'm no longer based in Thailand because they haven't seen me at the office for years. As my life got many updates, I excluding the thing less important, including learning Zumba. No one said that if they cannot communicate in English, they will die. Language learning in most cases is very personal, and you should know why you want to learn it to make it stick. Well, while you're thinking about the reason you want to start learning a new language, it can be Mandarin, Spanish, Thai, or even Vietnamese. Here are top 5 reasons people often associated with to always bear in mind why what they are learning. Firstly, career opportunity. Learning a new language can widen your career opportunities in many industries, especially the one that heavily requires client-facing. Business, healthcare, tourism, and education. Let me take my case as an example. In my office, we have 20 nationalities. We mainly speak in English, proper English. Most of my colleagues are native or studying abroad. So in this case, if you not only speaking English, but adequate English, it will give you a huge advantage to fully comprehend what people refer in business contexts and daily conversations. Secondly, culture exchange. Learning a new language can give you a deeper appreciation for different cultures and the way of life. I get inspired a lot with the idea that you can easily translate the words, but take you some time or even many years to gain a fully understand about the culture, like Songkran, Thai New Year. Through learning Thai with my teacher and communicate with local people, I could see how I'm able to comprehend more clearly about the culture and the meaning behind of Songkran. Next is traveling. At default, knowing a language can greatly enhance your travel experiences. Even just a few words in local languages is allow you to communicate with the people there and understand the nuances in their culture. You also feel more confident and comfortable travel alone in a foreign country. Actually, I do not use Thai a lot when I was in Bangkok. However, when I travel to other provinces like Chiang Mai, Hua Hin, Krabi, it forced me to speak the local language more often. And most of the case, the local do appreciate it a lot. They laugh a lot. They also more enthusiastic in speaking about their countries. I couldn't want to change anything in that very moment. Well, the next one is personal development. Learning a new language can be a fun and challenging way to develop a new skill and stimulate your brain. It can also boost your self-confidence and connect with people in meaningful ways. There are no scientific proven evidence show that you can be smarter if you speak 4 or 5 languages. But studies have shown that if you can speak more than a language, you can gain many benefits. Some are visible, like a higher density of gray matter that contain most of your brain neurons and synapses. If you are interested in knowing how a language can influence your brain and development, you can research more, and I also put some link down below. Lastly, learning a language is to communicate with your friends and family. If you have family member or friends who speak another language, learning their language can help deepen the connection and allow you to communicate with them more effectively. Well, last Christmas, I traveled to Europe to see my boyfriend's family. How excited. Everyone spoke English fluently except 2 youngest nephews. In Sweden, if the kids go to public school, they usually begin to learn English around 10 years old. Hence, the 2 younger boys are quite beginners in English. The one was about 10 years old. He tried his best to speak with me in English. Every night he practiced with his mom a few sentences that he gonna speak with me the next day. In my side, I barely speak Swedish. I tried to learn Swedish before this trip, but then there's tons of things to prepare, like visa, luggage, booking a ticket. My Swedish goal is that by the time I travel back to Europe, I want to be able to speak Swedish to the kids, order food, and understand simple conversation. The key takeaway is find a good reason to begin. Your reason for learning a new language can evolve over the time with multi-purposes. Which language do you intend to learn next, and why you want to learn them? Share your comment below, and I'll definitely wish you the best of luck. The second approach to fasten your language learning journey is to know what's your plan and what's the game you want to play. Only if you are a full-time linguistic student. Otherwise, I bet you wouldn't spend 8 hours a day to learn a new language. Setting clear goals and having a plan will help you to stay focused and motivated to achieve your language desired outcome goals. Once you have identified your goals, then you can break it down to achievable outcomes. For example, my goal of learning Mandarin is to travel to China someday, or travel to the country speaking Mandarin Chinese and be able to communicate with locals. Then later on, I can level up to higher proficiency where I am confident to use Mandarin in business context. I set a milestone of being able to hold a basic conversation after the first 1 month studying. After 3 months, I aim to have conversation with variety of topics. After 6 months, I aim to communicate with my colleagues at work. As I am working full-time, learning Thai and learning to become a yoga trainer, I'm very conscious with time. Meanwhile, I set dedicated time to learn with my teacher, to learn on my own, and watching Chinese shows. The tool that I use is Google Calendar to make sure that I save the slot for learning. It's crucial to have dedicated time slot for learning and stick to it, even if you're not in the mood for that. The idea is that efficiency in the long time will be more effective than sporadic bursts of efforts. Also, make the learning process fun. To stay motivated, you could incorporate the activity that you enjoy, such as watching movie or listening to the music in targeted language. You could plan a trip where the language is widely spoken, or find a language exchange partner to practice with. When I was in Vietnam and Malaysia last March, I used Mandarin almost every day. As a result of the trip, I not only have fun, but my Mandarin had improved a lot, since I know how to use the language in real life context. Last but not least, I suggest that you should go beyond your fear by starting speaking the language from day one. This is because speaking is the most effective way to learn and to build your confidence and fluency. This can be challenging, but no pain, no gain. The pain will pay off sooner or later. I make a huge mistake of not starting to speaking English early on. I began to talk to people when I have certain amounts of vocabularies and grammar. After like 8-9 years of learning English, well, that when the challenge came. When I talk to people, my head told me that my word choice were not correct and my grammar is terrible. While some people are very patient, listen to me, I was lost. And I realized that I was stuck when I talk to people. Even though I have so many choice of grammars and thousands of vocabularies, it makes me even more upset with years of learning without proper results. Hence, I make the point of speaking the language as soon as possible with your teacher or your buddy, your language exchange buddy. It allows you and me to practice in a real life context and receive feedbacks on our pronunciation, grammars, and vocabularies. Even though I made many mistakes from the beginning, I found that the more I practiced speaking, the more my confidence grew and the more I was able to express myself in the language. Similarly, when I started learning Thai, I make the point to use the language as much as I can in my daily routine, even if it's just a few sentences here and there. For example, when I take a Grab, the application similar like Uber, I tell them to wait for me and I'm coming in Thai. I have found that even small effort of using the language help me to build my familiarity with the language and to feel more comfortable speaking in social situations. While some people will reject you, some people not willing to help me. Even in some worst case, they said that I was wrong and I took advantage of them to learn the language. It's sad because I just want to communicate in the language that they can speak. But that's their references, their personality, and nothing wrong with the method. You should not take it to your heart if someone rejects you or discourages you from speaking. In short, starting speaking from day one is a powerful way to jumpstart your language learning and to build your confidence and fluencies in the language. You sure take mistakes, but remember, language learning is a process, and every step that you make to learn the language will bring you one step closer to achieve your language learning goal. That's it for today. Thank you for tuning in my video. I hope that you enjoy it as much that I make it for you. Now, before you go, I would remind you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you wouldn't miss my future content. If you like what you just saw, please give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below to let me know what you want to see more of. Stay happy and healthy, and I hope to see you in the next one.